Morning all. Alright, so we just have the two games tonight in the National Hockey League. One actually this morning and then one this evening. I didn't stay up to do a preview video last night because it's just the two games today. Starting with at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, 11 in the morning Pacific, we've got Columbus in against Colorado Avalanche. So this obviously will be posted as its own video. This is the first of two games to be played in Tampere, Finland. And fans lined up outside hours before the game gets started. And that's a good sign. We'll see what kind of crowd we're going to get for this one. So for Columbus, they're 3-7 on the season, 2.6 goals scored per game. They're allowing 4.4. They need to turn those numbers around quickly. Really, Columbus, if they could come out with 2 wins out of this, they'd be quite happy. 0% on the power play. That's not great. 81.2% on the penalty kill. Patrick Laine played 4 games thus far. Just the 1 goal, but the last time he went overseas, he did pretty well. So we'll see how he does today. The Colorado Avalanche off to a slow 4-4-1 start, slow by their standards. 3.11 goals for, 3.00 goals against. I know they had the same start last year too. But hey, you know, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions. It's still odd to see them 4-4-1. Their power play 39.3%. Their penalty kill not as great, 69.7%. They're going to want to leave the power play quite high and bring the penalty kill numbers up as well. Nathan MacKinnon has 3 goals, 9 assists for 12 points thus far this season. And so we'll see how things go. And of course, Rantanen's going to be playing at home. This is going to be great for Finnish fans. Then at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the only game being played in North America today gets started. It is the Buffalo Sabres and the Carolina Hurricanes. Buffalo is 7-3 on the season. These guys play again tomorrow. You guys know. And then that's it for their season series. So Columbus and Colorado, back-to-backs overseas. I don't know if Avs or Blue Jackets fans are going to be mad that this is being done overseas because that means they don't get to see those teams in their barn. But hey, all right, so Buffalo's 7-3. They're scoring 4.3 goals per game. They're allowing 2.8 goals against per game. Their power play, 23.7%. Their penalty kill, 78.1%. So overall, special teams numbers aren't bad, but they want their penalty kill to be a little better. Skinner, off to a really good start. Point per game, 2 goals, 8 assists. He is known as a goal scorer, but if you're getting a point per game, nobody's going to complain. On the Carolina side, 7-2-1 is their overall record. 3.1 goals scored per game, 2.8 goals against per game. I think they can score more. We'll see if that starts to happen. 17.1% is their power play. They need to bring that up. And their penalty kill, not characteristically high this year. They're at 76.9%, so they'll want to bring that up as well. Sebastian Aho with 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points thus far this season has been playing well. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on February 1st and April the 8th. Now, moving on to news of the day for all you fine people on the internet who want to hear about this. Well, first off, the Ottawa Senators are up for sale. But if you're like, hey, I want to move them to Tahiti, nope, back up. The team's up for sale, but the condition is you have to promise that you're not moving them. My guess is that there'll be a contract signed, probably the NHL involved as well. So that should put to rest any concerns and any speculation on that, right? No? Okay. But yeah, so that's the condition of the sale. We're going to see how much money it's going to take. We talked about Ryan Reynolds yesterday. So, of course, I started watching the Wrexham series yesterday. I'm like, I can watch this. I've been wanting to watch the Wrexham series anyways. I already kind of have spoiled it that I know where they are, but in terms of which league they're in. But, yeah, I've always thought that the European system where if you don't play well, you get demoted to the league below, that's honestly a pretty fun system to keep teams honest. Just imagine if it was, okay, you guys get the number 1 draft pick, but you go to the American Hockey League and you make maybe half the amount of money. Yeah, players would play pretty hard. So yeah, the Senators, no relegation talks with them and no moving talks with them either. Seattle discussion. So the speculation with Wright continues. Now last night, for the record, you got 13 minutes and 49 seconds of ice time against Minnesota, a game that Seattle wins 4-0. Now that works in his favor because generally coaches, after a game like that, they will usually leave the lineup the same and leave the lines the same. So 13:49 is a good amount of ice time. But apparently Wright can be loaned to the American Hockey League if he's a healthy scratch for 5 straight games. It's for a maximum of 14 days. So the question's been asked, So why can't Wright go to the American Hockey League? There's an agreement between the NHL and the OHL. The players of a certain age, and he's of that certain age, he's 18 years of age, in the event they don't make their NHL franchise's roster, they get sent down to juniors. So the option they have is sending to the OHL or keeping it at the NHL level. Again, everything I read on the scouting reports from him said physically he's mature. There's nothing more to be done at the junior level. So, well, I've seen the argument made of, well, he could dominate a year at the OHL level. It doesn't necessarily translate then that the player's development has been helped by that move. So he can be loaned to the AHL for a maximum of 14 days and then has to be brought back up. It's not optimal, right? But it's an option that's out there. And there's also the possibility he could be loaned out to Team Canada for the World Junior Championships, which would give him a couple of weeks playing with his peers and getting a chance to play a ton. So we'll see how Seattle plays this, but so far, I mean, they're 6-4-2. They're above 500. They looked good last night. What was most impressive in their game last night was their shutdown game. They absolutely shut down the Minnesota Wild, and so we'll see if that's an indicator that the Wild's attack's having problems, or if it shows that Seattle has learned from last year's mistakes, and their defense is that much better. All right, Jets news. Morgan Barron out 4 to 5 weeks after wrist surgery, so that's not fantastic for him, of course. Hope he has a good run when he returns. He had a good run at the end of the season. The start of the season has been kind of stops and starts for him. But, yeah, it'll be nice to see him back in the lineup for the Jets. Blankenberg is set to return today for Columbus. He had been on injured reserve for roughly a week. I'm wearing the only Finnish team-based jersey that I have, which is Jokerit. So that's why I'm wearing a Jokerit jersey, just in case anybody asks. I've thought about that now that I'm almost done the video. And there we go. But yeah, Blankenberg set to return for Columbus. So that's good, having as many of your players healthy as possible for a series such as this. Of course, last night, Erik Karlsson continues his amazing run. 10 goals in 13 games. Now, for a defenseman, that's almost unheard of. He is the third fastest defenseman in NHL history to reach 10 goals. Harry Cameron did it in 7 games back in 1917, 1918. Game was a little different back then. You weren't allowed to have forward passing. You wouldn't have been allowed to... there's a bunch of passing rules that were different. Goalies weren't allowed to fall down. Right, they weren't allowed to leave their feet. So, yeah, it was a different game. Ken Clancy did it in 9 games in 1929, 1930, which is still not technically the modern age. The modern age for hockey was when they added the red line, which wasn't until... and I'm just going to throw dates out there and just drive people crazy. But I know it was in the 50s, I think. I don't know, I got history videos on it. But yeah, when they added the red line, that's when they considered it to be the start of what's considered modern hockey history. The game was quite different. So that's how defensemen could get to 10 goals in 7 games or 9 games. It was quite a different game. But yeah, Karlsson's done it in 13 games, and that is fantastic. And it just shows you that it is very rare for a defenseman to score at this rate. The one thing I'm finding interesting is I'm already seeing a lot of Norris discussions. Oh, well, he's going to run away with the Norris. And wouldn't that feed into the narrative that the Norris is given to the best offensive defenseman in the NHL? And that's a question that, of course, we can look at as the season goes along and if he keeps up this run. But it's been an amazing start for Karlsson, and it justifies his contract for right now. So if you're a Sharks fan, his contract, not that bad. The team on the ice, not great. The record's not fantastic, but hey, Karlsson's numbers are good. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.